What if the missing money in your retirement is not in the stock market, not in your bank account, and not in your budget at all? What if it is sitting behind four forms you never knew you needed to touch? And what if those four forms could mean the difference between scraping by and breathing a little easier every month? A lot of retirees think lost money looks dramatic. They imagine fraud, a bad investment, or some giant mistake. But most of the time, that is not how it happens. It happens quietly. A higher Medicare bill here, a missed drug benefit there, a spouse benefit never claimed, a VA payment never added. Little by little, month by month, the gap grows. And when you add enough little gaps together, you can end up leaving real money on the table. Not $10, not 50. I'm talking about the kind of money that can cover groceries, medicine, gas, a power bill, and still leave enough for peace of mind. I started making these videos because someone close to my family spent years worrying about money she should not have been worrying about. She was doing everything right, paying attention, being careful, stretching every dollar, but nobody had ever shown her the forms that could have helped her. I make these videos so that does not happen to you. If this helps you, subscribe. I'll keep making them simple and free. Right now, there are probably two kinds of people watching this. The first person has been dealing with tight money for years. You have cut back, delayed things, and told yourself this is just how retirement works. The second person just started to feel that something is off. Maybe your check feels smaller, maybe your medicine costs went up, maybe you heard a friend mention a benefit you never knew existed. If you are either one of those people, you are in the right place. Here is what most people never learn. The system is designed to do exactly what you tell it to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Nobody is checking to see if you are getting the best deal. Nobody is calling to ask if your income dropped, if your spouse record pays more, or if your medicine costs can be lowered. If you do not raise your hand, the system stays quiet. The good news is you can fix that. You just need to know where to look. I'm Daniel. I've spent 18 years helping older adults understand retirement money, and I've watched good people lose thousands simply because nobody ever told them the right next step. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what is happening, why it is happening, and what you can do about it today. I'll give you real form numbers and real websites, but I'm going to say it in plain English. By the end, you will know exactly which form may matter to you and what to do next. First thing you need to know is this. A lot of retirees are paying too much for Medicare because nobody told them they could ask for a lower amount after their income changed. Let's make this very simple. Sometimes Medicare looks back at older income numbers when deciding what extra amount you have to pay for Part B and Part D. That extra amount can stay there even after your life has changed. Maybe you retired, maybe your spouse passed away, maybe you divorced, maybe work income stopped, maybe a settlement ended and your household income dropped. Your current life changed, but the old number kept following you. That is where Form SSA 44 comes in. This is the form tied to lowering that extra Medicare amount after a life-changing event. A lot of retirees never file it because they assume Medicare will figure it out on its own. It usually does not work that way. Picture a man named Harold. He retired at 67 after years of decent income. For a while, Medicare kept charging him based on older income from his working years. Let's say that extra amount came to $300 a month between his Medicare costs. Harold grumbled about it, paid it, and figured that was just the price of getting older. But if his income had truly dropped after retirement and he qualified to ask for a lower amount, that could mean $3,600 over 1 year. Now let me slow that down, because this matters. $300 a month may not sound life-changing to everyone, but for many retirees, that is a grocery bill. That is a utility bill and your phone bill together. That is money that should not be leaving your pocket if your life no longer matches the old income number being used. A lot of people miss this because they think, well, they already know I retired. No, not in the way that helps you automatically. Retirement is a life event, but the system still needs you to speak up and connect the dots. If your income went down because of retirement, marriage, divorce, death of a spouse, loss of income, or another qualifying life-changing event, you may be able to ask for a lower IRMAA amount. That ugly little extra charge on top of Medicare does not always stay fixed forever. Here's what to do about this right now. Take out your most recent Medicare premium notice, Look for any extra amount above the standard premium. And if your income dropped after a life-changing event, go to ssa.gov/Medicare/lower-IRMA or call Social Security and ask specifically about filing Form SSA-44. Second thing, a lot of retirees pay too much for prescriptions because they never apply for extra help. This one breaks my heart because the people who need it most are often the ones least likely to ask. They say things like, I probably make too much, or I don't want to bother with paperwork, or I've made it this far, I'll just keep paying. And month after month, they keep handing over money for drug costs that might have been reduced. Form SSA-1020 is tied to the Extra Help Program for Medicare Part D drug costs. The goal is simple. If you have limited income and resources, this program can help lower what you pay for things like premiums, deductibles, and copays. That can matter more than people realize. Let's use a real-life kind of example. Imagine Linda takes 5 prescriptions every month. Her plan premium is modest, but once you add the copays and other out-of-pocket drug costs, she is spending around $120 a month. That hurts. Not impossible, just painful. That is $1,440 a year. For some people, the number is higher. For others, it is lower. But either way, that is money going out every single month. Now imagine Linda qualifies for extra help and her drug costs drop enough to save her around $100 a month. That is $1,200 a year back in her life. That could cover a winter heating bill, a dental visit, birthday gifts for grandkids, or just the comfort of not checking the account balance every other day. What makes this one tricky is pride. And I say that with respect. Many older adults grew up with a strong sense of handling things on their own. They do not want to ask for help. But this is not charity in the way many people think of it. This is a benefit pathway built for people whose income and resources fit the rules. If the door is open to you, there is no shame in walking through it. Also, do not assume that because you own a modest car, a small savings account, or a paid-off home, the answer is automatically no. The program looks at your financial situation in a specific way. Let them tell you no after they look at it. Do not tell yourself no in your own kitchen before you even ask. And please hear me on this part. A lot of retirees cut pills in half, skip doses, or wait too long to refill medicine because they are trying to stretch money. That is not a budgeting trick. That is a warning sign. If you are doing that or thinking about doing that, this form is worth your attention. Does this make sense so far? If something feels a little foggy, keep going with me. I'm building the whole picture one piece at a time. Here's what to do about this right now. Make a simple list of your monthly income, your savings, and other resources, and then go to ssa.gov/Medicare/Part-D-extra-help and apply for extra help, or ask Social Security for Form SSA-1020. Third thing, some retirees are collecting a smaller Social Security benefit than they might be able to receive because they never ask about spouse or divorced spouse benefits. This one is especially common with people who say, I already filed years ago, so whatever I'm getting must be the final answer. Not always. Sometimes the issue is not that you filed wrong, it is that you never checked whether another path might pay more. Form SSA-2 is the application tied to spouse or divorced spouse benefits. Now I want to keep this simple. I am not going to throw rules and charts all over the place. The basic idea is this. In some cases, a person may be able to receive benefits based on a spouse's record or an ex-spouse's record instead of only their own, if that amount is higher and they meet the rules. That means this is not just for married couples living together right now. It can also matter for divorced people who were married long enough and meet the rules. Many people never ask because the word divorced makes them think that chapter is closed forever. Financially, that is not always true. Let me give you an example. Suppose Carol gets $900 a month on her own record. She assumes that is her number and that is the end of it. But later she learns that based on her situation, she may be eligible for a spouse or divorced spouse, amount that could bring her monthly benefit up to $1,300. That is a difference of $400 a month. Over a year, that is $4,800. Now I know what some people are thinking. If that were true, surely someone would have told me. No, Not always. This is exactly the kind of thing that slips by because people do not know what to ask. And if you do not ask the question clearly, you may never get the full conversation. Another reason people miss this is emotional. Maybe there is hurt tied to a marriage that ended. Maybe there is pride tied to wanting everything under your own name. Maybe there is fear that asking will somehow take money away from someone else. So people avoid the subject, and that emotional silence can cost real money. I want to say one practical thing here. Do not guess. Do not depend on what your neighbor's cousin told you. And do not assume that because your friend qualified, you will too. This is a check you need to make situation, not a rumor you need to believe situation. You're doing great. Most people click away by now. You're still here. That means you care about getting this right. Here's what to do about this right now. Call Social Security or go to ssa.gov/forms/ssa-2.html and ask one direct question. Please check whether I may qualify for spouse or divorced spouse benefits under Form SSA-2. Last thing, and this one is powerful, many veterans and survivors miss added monthly VA pension money because they never file the form that proves they need more support at home. I want to be careful here because not everyone watching is a veteran and not everyone gets a VA pension. But if this applies to you or someone you love, the amount can be big enough to change the whole month. VA Form 2-1-2680 is used for aid in attendance or housebound benefits added to a monthly VA pension for qualified veterans and survivors. In plain English, if a person needs help with daily activities like bathing, dressing, or feeding, or if they spend most of their time at home because of a permanent disability, there may be added monthly money available. A medical examiner has to fill out the examination section. Now think about how often this gets missed. The older veteran who says, "I'm fine," while a daughter is helping him dress. The widow who can no longer move around safely but thinks asking for more help would be selfish. The family that assumes if the VA wanted them to have it, it would already be there. That assumption costs money. Let's use a strong example. Suppose James is already receiving a VA pension, but his health has changed. He now needs help with basic daily tasks, and his daughter comes by every day to assist. If he may qualify for aid in attendance and the added amount ends up being around $350 a month, that is $4,200 over a year. If he never applies, that money does not drift into his account by magic. It stays out of reach. And if you combine examples like the ones we just walked through, $3,600 in Medicare savings, $1,200 in drug savings, $4,800 from a better Social Security path, and $4,200 in added VA support, you are right around $14,000 over a year. That is where a title like this comes from. Not because every retiree will get exactly that number, but because for the right person, across the right forms, the total can become very real very fast. I know this might feel like a lot, but trust me, once you see the whole picture, it gets easier. Keep watching. There is one more reason this form gets missed. It asks people to admit how much help they need, and for many proud men and women, that is harder than paperwork. But needing help with daily living is not a personal failure. It is a life change. If the rules say added support may be available, then using the form is just good sense. Here's what to do about this right now. If you receive a VA pension and need help with daily activities or are mostly housebound, go to va.gov/pension/aid-attendance-housebound, get VA Form 21-2680, and ask your doctor or medical examiner to complete the examination section. Okay, you've made it this far. Most people don't. Let me give you two more things that work alongside everything I just explained. First bonus thing, keep one retirement folder for benefit checkups. Not a fancy folder, not a complicated system, just one place. Put your Medicare notice in it. Put your Social Security letter in it. Put your VA papers in it if you have them. Put your latest tax return in it. And once a year, sit down with that folder and ask one question. Has my life changed enough that I should check my forms again? Retirement is not one decision made once. It is a series of changes, and forms matter more when life changes. That one habit can save you from the biggest mistake older adults make, which is assuming last year's answer is still this year's answer. Maybe last year you were still working. Maybe last year your spouse was still alive. Maybe last year your health was different. Maybe last year your drug costs were lower. A yearly checkup is not overthinking. It is protection. Second bonus thing, do not wait until a crisis to act. This is the warning I wish more people heard sooner. Many retirees only start asking questions after the savings account gets thin, after a hospital stay, after a spouse dies, or after debt starts building. By then, the stress is so high that even simple paperwork feels overwhelming. The better time to act is when the problem first feels small. When you first notice the Medicare deduction looks high, when the pharmacy receipt makes you pause, when the Social Security deposit feels lower than it should be, when helping a veteran parent becomes a daily routine instead of an occasional favor. That is the moment to move, not 6 months later. And here is one more gentle warning. Never assume a form does not apply just because the name sounds formal or confusing. Income-related monthly adjustment amount, extra help, spouses or divorced spouses benefits, aid and attendance. These are just names. Under the name is a very human question. Are you paying too much or receiving too little because nobody helped you connect your situation to the right form? Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're finding this useful. The next one will be just like this, simple, clear, and made to help you protect your money. So let me make this simple. What I just showed you is this. A lot of retirement money is not lost because people are careless. It is lost because nobody tells them which form matches the life they are living right now. The reason it matters is that even a few $100s a month can add up to thousands over a year. The action you need to take is to choose the one form on this list that sounds closest to your life today and start there. That's it. One step. Do it today. If your Medicare costs stayed high after your income dropped, look at SSA 44. If medicine is eating up your budget, look at SSA 1020 for extra help. If you ever wonder whether a spouse or ex-spouse record could pay more, check SSA 2. If you or someone you love is a veteran or survivor with a VA pension and daily life has gotten harder, check VA Form 2 1-2680. You do not have to fix every part of your retirement in one afternoon. You just need one good starting point, one form, one phone call, one honest question. That is how people get money back into their lives, not all at once, one smart step at a time, one thing before you leave this page. Think of one person in your life who needs to hear this. Maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your neighbor. Maybe it's a man from church who keeps saying everything is too expensive now. Maybe it's a widow down the street who is trying to figure it all out alone. Send them this video. One share could change their month. That's all I'm asking. Next time, I'm going to show you the Social Security timing mistake that can quietly cost a retiree thousands before they even realize what happened. Most people do not learn it until it is too late. I'll see you then.